Everyone, welcome back to Ideal Bright Side. Today, I will tell you the boy who went searching for giants. A 6-year-old boy called Georges loved puzzles, but not just the brain teasers that you find in newspapers or books. He loved real-life puzzles. When an illusionist came to his town in France and did a series of magic tricks, little Georges Cuvier sat down with a pencil and paper and worked how the man had fooled everyone. The family lived in the countryside and the boy spent many hours exploring nature with his mother, and that's where he found the biggest puzzles. But like it was, why were there so many strange and wonderful animals and plants? And why were there so many stories told about giants and dragons and amazing creatures like that? In Europe, archaeologists said that they had dug up the bones of giant men who were even taller than the oldest, highest trees in the village. What happened to the giants? Why had they died out? As Georges Cuvier grew older, he started to sketch flowers and animals, and by the time he was 12, he was an expert naturalist. Now, all this happened in France in the 1700s, when only rich children received serious teaching. A wealthy nobleman noticed George's skills and paid for him to have a good education as an adult. Georges became a professor and decided to investigate the giants and other strange animals. He realized that the fossil bones of the giants were not from humans at all. They were the bones of other big animals, such as elephants and prehistoric creatures, such as mastodons. This in itself was surprising, as there were no elephants in that part of Europe. He found other fossils too, which seemed to belong to animals that were totally unknown. One of the strangest things that ended up on his work table was a selection of parts of a creature that looked like a large reptile, but a large bat-like wings and a beak with sharp teeth. Less than 30 years later, little Mary Anning, who we met in the previous story, would find a related skeleton which would go on display as a flying dragon. But Georges Cuvier's real contribution to science was an extraordinary idea. If you study the shape of fossil bones and you compare them to the shape of bones of living creatures, you could learn about the past and how creatures were created or evolved. And when he put all his findings together, he made a mind-blowing discovery. We live in a world which mammals such as humans dominate, but before that there existed an entirely different world right here, in which a completely different group of creatures, reptile-like animals, were dominant. Georges Cuvier had discovered the world of the dinosaurs. Today, this Frenchman is sometimes called the father of paleontology, but it's worth remembering that he started down the track of fame walking through the same forest that other people had walked, but being curious enough to ask questions that no one had yet asked. He disproved the tales about giants and became a giant of science himself. Now please subscribe the Ideal Bright Side for more incredible content.